Hi everyone, I'm just another Bernie tuber, and I have a question for you. Why do Democrats lose elections? Before you click off the video, no, this isn't the same video as the one where we talked about making every policy proposal sound as American as possible. In that video, I asked why people vote Republican, but that in and of itself does not explain why Democrats lose elections. It takes work to lose elections when the public is with you on the issues most every time. What happened? Earlier this week, I caught wind of former Chicago Mayor and White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel's criticism of Bernie Sanders' approach to politics. Quote, "You need a candidate with a message that can help us win swing voters in battleground states. The degree of difficulty dramatically increases under a Bernie Sanders candidacy. It just gets a lot harder." Problem: swing voters are hard to convince. You can watch election cycle after election cycle go by with hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising going to states like Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and a few others, trying to get undecided voters to sign with Team Red or Team Blue. This effort would make sense if everyone was voting and after all that we were still deadlocked. But that isn't the case. The reality is there are millions upon millions of disaffected voters who don't see a reason to vote at all, even if they agree with one party or another, simply because they feel like the party doesn't represent them. What Rahm Emanuel is saying is the conventional wisdom of trying to get the ones who are willing to participate while disregarding those who feel jaded. If the party apparatus shifted their focus to going after and serving the disaffected voters, they would bring them into the political process and wouldn't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to convince a small number of undecided people. What does the empirical data say? When turnout is high, Democrats win. When it's low, Democrats lose. So the easiest thing to do would be to boost voter turnout. At this point, the calculus changes. If disaffected voters are holding out, what will it take to get them to the polls? Do you know? Whatever it is, chances are it isn't even on the spectrum of debates you're having with the opposite party as you joust for the elusive swing voter. Example, how many black conservatives are there? You'd be surprised. Don't just think Clarence Thomas or Larry Elder or Juan Williams. There's quite a few black people who are open to a Republican message, but for now may vote Democrat or just stay home because they feel the Republican Party is too racist to side with. This example is meant to demonstrate that these people aren't hard to locate, but need a reason to vote or need to feel safe to vote. I personally cannot tell you how insulting it was as a little kid when I went to church and saw Illinois Congressman Bobby Rush show up at my church during election season. The problem wasn't that he showed up, but that he only showed up then, reinforcing the idea that you only see your politicians when they want your vote. This is especially true in black communities where many African American Democrats feel taken for granted and underserved. Play that same sentiment out in Milwaukee, Detroit, and Philadelphia, and Hillary Clinton just lost to Donald Trump. Yet here you are trying to chase white suburban moms who've been voting Republican for much of their lives. Forget contorting yourself trying to convince Elizabeth. Just go get LaWanda. Her vote counts the same. Show up at her church and shake her hand and let her know that you're committed to making her community better. Sound fair? I appreciate your time watching this, and I hope that if you learned something from this, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing this video as I continue to ramp up production for this channel. But more than anything, don't just sit on this knowledge. Go do something with it.